turned it over once, which meant December was first. Okay, it's not just incompetence, it's stupidity. Okay, we graphed the average. January was low, and it went up like a straight line. It was like an average of about, I don't know, maybe about 110, something like that. And the average for December, no, wait a minute, other way around. December had an average of about 110, and January had an average of about 200 and something. I don't know. Well, if it's fair, it's flat.
Right.
If it's not fair, it's tilted one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
We blew it away at a significance of 99.92%. Oh my gosh, we blew it away, which meant the probability that this would come out in a random fashion would be 99.92% against.
Jeez.
And this is the US military. They didn't shuffle it.
Jeez.
Okay. Stupid. Anyway, I avoided the draft. I was very happy. My brother was very happy. And the happiest of all, yeah, I wasn't really worried because I knew they're not going to go that high. Don't worry. Who was the happiest? My mother.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My mother she was shitting bricks. I said, don't worry, Mom. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Okay, that kind of
Yep.
motherly reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knew that Vietnam was a meat grinder.
It
Um,
was.
and it was by design, meat grinder. All right.
Mm.
Venezuela is involved in something else. Um, the Chinese just made a gold mine venture offer, bid, and I believe it's a done deal with Brazil. A gold mine deal with Brazil. And it also includes coltan.
Coltan
Okay,
is one of the metals they need for high electronics.
it's called blue gold. And one of the biggest concentrated deposits in the American hemisphere, I mean North America and South America, is Brazil and Venezuela and their entire border area. I
Oh
saw a
wow.
map of, yeah, Brazil. Brazil's got a lot. So the highest concentrations are in Venezuela. It contains tantalum, a rare earth metal. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
the United States always gets accused. Oh gosh, I have a couple clients and they don't like what's going on with certain things in Washington, and I'm battling with them often in little email debates. Oh, we want to go in there and take Venezuelan oil. And I said, don't leave out coltan, blue gold. It's a quartz. And he didn't know anything about that. And I said, it's got tantalum in it, rare earth metal. Oh, even more reason we want to go in there, steal their oil and steal their coltan or whatever you call it. Well, I think that we would establish contracts
Exactly. Yep.
and royalties with the government that don't go to their drug cartel. Okay.
Exactly.
In other words, reasonable, just, fair commerce.
Yep.
That's what I expect. And that's what I'm looking at. Okay, I'm always looking at the economic angle. And when it comes to Germany, I just see suicide. I just incredibly stupid. I got 3 German clients. I'm switching over to Germany here. Pardon me.
Go ahead.
Th
No problem.
three, because it's economic. It's more economic. And the German clients. Oh gosh, one is he makes musical instruments, and another one is involved in technology training, and the third one I can't remember his role, but I get a little brief. I say, what's going on? What's Spiegel magazine saying lately? um, Spiegel is slowly converting to the middle.
Really?
Slowly, yeah, slowly. Their media is slowly moving toward the middle. But they were so far on the fascist side that they got a long way to go to find the middle.
Where is that their version of the New York Times, if I remember right?
Yeah, but it's a magazine. It's not a newspaper.
Right, right, right.
Okay, they've got their, oh gosh, I can't remember the name. There's a South German newspaper. I think it's out of Munich or someplace.
Okay.
Um, I don't want to make a guess. I went to Munich and had my life threatened in 2006
Jeez.
by Homeland Security. Thank you very much, U.S. government. The long arm of the U.S. government reaches into Germany. No problem. And that's one reason I moved. I
The
vacated because I had my life threatened by U.S. government Homeland Security. A
well,
bullet,
I can
a bullet,
understand that.
a bullet in the back of the head. I said, "Who would be holding the weapon?" And I'll just translate it. That little country in the southeast corner of the Mediterranean. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I moved. I figure if my own government wants to do harm to me, then I don't want to live there, especially
I
when
hear you.
half the people are obese. And I don't want to get started. I'm not impressed with the public in the United States. I used to get criticism when I said there are a lot of dumbasses in the United States. Then I used to get a lot of praise, a lot of compliments. Jim, my wife is a dumbass. My neighbor is a dumbass. My guy across the office, Carol, he's a dumbass. I like it when you say dumbass. I like your attitude. Well, it's not conducive to selling newsletters. Hey, dumbasses, sign up for the newsletter. That doesn't work. So, what I like to say is if you want to know more about what's going on that isn't just the daily spoon fed nonsense coming from the MSM press,
Hmm.
which did not warn you about the stolen election, did not warn you about the deadly vaccine, it did not warn you that Biden was, let's just say, either incapacitated or 6 feet under. My information said that he was 6 feet under before the election in November of 2020. So it's the first, my joke, I like joking around. My joke is that's the first dead president in the history of the United States. The dead president got inaugurated. All right. So my German clients tell me one of them is in a club, a business club.
Hmm.
And he said, Jim, that's where I get my sample. Yeah, these are business people. These are people who run a business. They're not like, high level ranking guys in Siemens or a steel company or BMW or Daimler Benz Mercedes. These are people running a business like mid-size and less. It's like a Rotary Club, a Lions Club. And he said, you wouldn't believe it. 90% of them 90% of the business people at this club, which is a good cross section of small and mid-sized business, 90% of them think that Russia is invading Ukraine, that all the stories about drugs and trafficking are bullshit, that NATO is doing the right thing, that NATO should protect Ukraine, that Putin is evil, that he's a global menace. And we don't need their damn natural gas. We'll be fine. But they're not fine. They committed economic suicide. So I said, are any of them in failed businesses because they can't operate? Are they grabbing the wood off park benches and bus stop benches to run their business and burn the wood? Okay, that's how far it's gone in Germany. The wooden bus benches are being raided of their wood. Okay.
To burn?
And to burn, yeah, burn them in their home. Stay warm. They don't have the natural gas. Everything is more expensive. The
Wow.
Rockefellers wanted a 2 times higher cost for natural gas to supply Germany. We don't
People
want
would
your damn
freeze.
Russian gas. We know it's cheap, but we got American gas. We got American gas. And it's 100% higher in cost. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So BMW is, the businesses in Germany are now telling the German government, we need to move to China
Wow.
to be profitable. If you get in the way, BMW will shut down.
Wow.
Okay, that's where it is in Germany now. And I
That's
did an
crazy.
entire chapter, I think it was October. I called it, maybe September. I called it Epitaph for Germany. That was my chapter. It was all how everything is getting ruined. Things are getting shut down, unemployment high. And
Do you have,
Germany they gotta turn it around. They gotta they when Olaf Schultz went out and Friedrich Merz went in, he's worse.
mhm.
They go to the extreme, just like the Democrats do in the United States. They went to the extreme. They offered a dead man as their candidate. And when he couldn't debate, they got cornered. So they went to a whore in California named Kamala Harris, the sex party toy for San Francisco. The word salad. Oh, I thought that was so funny. They came up with a name, word salad. I said, I told people, I listened to her. She doesn't say anything. She just mumbles and it's nonsense. And then my colleague said, Jim, they're calling it word salad. I said, oh, that's good. That's good. She's such a whore. There was a poll done a month ago. Who are the most respected Democrat leaders? Okay, remember my point. When a party or a country politically is going in the wrong direction, they're led by the more extreme.
Right.
Alexandra Cortez and Kamala Harris were the leaders for the most respected leaders in the poll for Democrat respect.
That is wild.
Not Schumer.
That is wild.
Kamala Harris still. Okay, I have news for people who are of a Democrat leaning that the party is now aligned with the Satanist bankers, especially out of Switzerland and London. They're aligned with the communist Marxist from Obama's tenure, and they're aligned with the Langley narcos, our boys in Langley. So you got Satanists, narcos, and communists. That is your three main planks of the Democrat Party.
That is a real unholy coalition.
That's why they're going after Christians and harming them,
Yep.
because they're Satanists.
Right.
That's why they don't want any removal of, how should I say? They want to continue with the vaccinations and all the damaging medicine, because that's part of the Satanists. They want the borders to be porous. They want the illegal migrants to be causing trouble. The judges are letting them free in Illinois. It's amazing. Some of these judges need to be arrested for obstruction of justice. But that's Marxist. Obama was a Marxist. When are people going to realize that? What does it take for people to realize that?
I don't know.
That's why
Good
I'm not
question.
very impressed with American intelligence. We need to get smarter. And the people who are, beginning to wonder about the Democrats, I invite you to go to golden-jackass.com and sign up for the newsletter. For those who want to know what is going on with implications and repercussions of the Russian sanctions, sign up for the newsletter and look for information about Ukraine. I had many reports with a chapter on Ukraine. It is a trafficking center of Europe. And I made a forecast a year and a half ago. It's one of the most bold forecasts I've ever made, Brock. I said that with the capture by the Russians of money laundering center in Ukraine, look for Credit Suisse to go bankrupt in Switzerland. I gave it 4 months and it took 2. They went bankrupt.
Wow.
Credit Suisse. Now, for those who aren't familiar, why would they call a bank Credit Suisse? Well, obviously it's Swiss,
Yep.
but Credit Suisse, I mean, it's like a name of a credit union. Um, well, it is sort of a credit union. The bank was started in the 1940s with all the stolen gold from central banks during World War II.
Oh, wow.
So the collateral for the bank was stolen gold, and in your face, they called it Credit Suisse. The other big bank in Switzerland is UBS. I had no call on them. And Credit Suisse had a financial failure. I think it was around 2 years ago, year and 10 months ago, something like that. And that might have gotten me in trouble with some of the powerful occult forces that
Jeez.
operate on the planet. I don't want to get into my suffering and my plight. Um, I've had too many deaths in my surroundings. I'm up to 9 now. Had another one in July, and I had another death in May, and they are costly. So the way I get slowed down by the dark occult forces is to be harmed financially. And let me just say something, Brock, because I know you're of a Christian faith that is strong. When people say to me, Jim, you're in financial trouble again, why can't you manage your life? I say, is it mismanagement to have 9 fires in a 4-year period when the actuarial tables say 1 fire per 100,000 homes per year? 9 fires. Is it mismanagement to have a fire a week before a property sale? Happened twice. Is it mismanagement to have 3 fatal car crashes? Each one was very costly to me. One in particular cost a good block of my dad's inheritance. Is it mismanagement when my sweetheart's mother is run over coming out of church on a Sunday morning? Is that mismanagement? Okay, so to my critics, I say, get off it. And the people who don't realize that there are occult powerful forces that are satanic, you're either an intellectual coward or you're a moron. Intellectual coward or moron if you don't think that there are powerful evil forces. Who do you think killed Virginia Giuffre in Virginia when she warned about the Epstein files having video? She had a dead man switch, and there are lots of different things that are coming to the table about Epstein. And that is why Bongino, the deputy attorney general, that's why he's resigning.
Yep.
He got a look at some of the Epstein videos, and 2 Democrat presidents were involved in torture, murder, and mayhem.
He
They're
couldn't
not
take it.
they're Obama and Clinton, 2 narco presidents. If you don't understand that we had 4 narco presidents with Papa Bush, Clinton, Baby Bush, and Obama, you're either living under a rock intellectually or you're a moron. My dad told me I was outrageous to think that we had 4 narco presidents in the White House. That's outrageous. I said, Dad, you are so behind that you don't understand that the Drug Enforcement Agency is a drug cartel. And he laughed at me. I miss my dad. I was very close to my dad. My dad offered me seed capital after 1 year for the newsletter. And without that, I might not have succeeded as well as the newsletter did. But my dad was not really aware of much of what happened in the political, especially the geopolitical. He never was bothered by Vietnam. And I found it really interesting because he had a professor friend. My dad was a literature professor. My dad had a professor friend in a different department, and he came over for dinner once in a while, and he was upset at my dad because my dad didn't have a strong opinion about Vietnam, but the other professor did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening intently to the arguments. And he said, you know, all this domino for communism, golly, that's the problem that the